as you know, in the group, we have been talking about self-care. We've been talking about self-care and the importance of taking care of ourselves while we've been in quarantine. And I thought it was really important that we talked about hair, right? And so self-care is just so big. But one of the aspects of self-care I wanted us to talk about is our hair, because it's something we've had to deal with, take on. And now that the world is opening back up, I wanted us to kind of discuss that a little bit in detail. And we have an incredible expert that is going to be joining me tonight for us to talk about it. Her name is Stephanie Verdieu. She is a healthy hair specialist. I've known her over 2 decades, and she is amazing. So I'm going to bring her on, and we're going to have a nice chat. All right. So, hello.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Hi, Stephanie.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Awesome. I am awesome.
Great. You look beautiful. You're welcome. So I was just letting the ladies know that we were so excited to have you tonight. And we have been home and we've been having to deal with a lot of things, including hair. And so I wanted you to first kind of tell everyone about yourself, and then we're going to get into our conversation.
Okay. I am Stephanie Verdieu. I am a healthy hair care specialist. I specialize in all hair types. I'm a mom, I'm an author. I travel between Chicago and Florida to do hair. Of course, not during the quarantine, but it's a part of what I do. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here to share some of my knowledge with you ladies tonight.
Awesome. And we're so happy to have you. So thank you for being here. All right. So some of us are still in quarantine. And so I would like for you to share with us what are some important things to do while we are unable to see our hairdresser, to see the person who normally handles all of that stuff when it comes to our hair.
Right.
What are some things we can do? Because even though we may not necessarily be trained or have the experience as our hairdressers has, but what is things that we can do to make sure that our next trip isn't so hard on our hairdresser?
Right. I mean, one of the biggest things that quarantine did was to have people communicate with their hairdresser. Hopefully they were able to get in contact with them. So hopefully if you did not have a chance to at least consult your hairdresser to say, hey, what is the best thing for me to do right now during quarantine? And what do you think? Because everybody is not in the same hair dynamic right now. You have short hair, you have curly hair, you have long, you have natural, you have relaxers. So it just all depends on the state of that person's hair. If you're natural, I always recommend, you put a protective style. YouTube has become people's best friend during quarantine, trying out new things. But definitely the first thing I hope people did was contact your hairdresser and see what would be the best thing for you to do, because like I said, everybody is not in the same hair structure right now. And then go from there and see what would work best for you. For relaxers, it's about stretching that relaxer. How you can stretch your relaxer is through a protective style, something like this. Even putting a ponytail, one of those top knot ponytails for a couple of weeks, but it just all depends on that person and where they are.
Okay. So awesome. So get in touch with your hairdresser and to see what are the best things to do based on your hair type.
Right.
The next thing I want to get into is the fact that we are now going into, or we're pretty much in summer. So what do you feel are some of the better protective styles, or that will be better in warmer climates?
So for warmer climates and always really during the summer is braids. Braids, twists, Senegalese twists, the Marley twists. These are Marley twists. Those are the ones that I normally recommend. You know, people normally go on vacations during the summer, so it's the norm to not have to deal with your hair during those 2 to 3 months that we're away from work, we're away from school. It's just easier. But again, it all depends on what did you do to your hair during quarantine, and
Mm.
am I able to really have braids in the summer? If I didn't take care of my hair during quarantine, then I may need to go into some deep conditioning or some more hair treatments during the summer. It seems awkward, but that's just where we are right now. So it all depends on what happened between those 2 3 months that we were in quarantine. What can I do for the summer? But of course, always during the summer is braids, twists, protective styles. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. That's really good to know because some of us have been caring for our hair at home and some of us haven't been doing so much.
Yeah,
And so it's really important to make sure that we're still taking care of our hair. So that's
absolutely.
awesome. Okay, so definitely protective styles. I got to make sure I get one soon. Um, and I wanted to ask you too, what are some things that you think can help our hair remain strong? I know that we all have different textures.
Mhm.
Um, but like, yeah, some things that attribute to stronger hair in terms of any foods, anything we should be drinking, any supplements we should be taking.
So, as far as the strength of your hair, I have to go back to what I know, and I know a lot of people may not know it, but I'll share it. Everybody's hair have three different stages of how it grows. The first one is canagen. That's
Mm-hmm.
the no, I'm sorry. Anagen is the growth phase. Uh, Canagen is the transition phase, and the telogen is the shedding phase. I'm sorry, but those three phases, if you can understand where your hair is, you will know what exactly to do. When your hair is in anagen phase, that means it's growing. You are drinking enough water. You are eating enough, the greens, the fruits, the vegetables. You are taking your vitamins. Your hair is growing, so it's flourishing. If your hair is in catagen phase, that means it's transitioning. So you could probably be going from, if you are that person that was relaxed in quarantine, well, before quarantine, your hair is going through a transition phase. So your hair is like, okay, what's going on? I'm not getting no chemicals, but you have been deep conditioning your hair, you have been treating your hair. So it's just going through that transition. Now, that last phase, that telogen phase, that shedding phase, you have not been doing nothing. You haven't been drinking enough water. You have not been taking your vitamins. You have not been, doing anything that's good for your body. So one thing I always tell my clients is hair and nails. It works from the inside out. So whatever you put in your body will come out through your hair, will come out through your nails. You see if your nails are brittle and breaking up, you're not getting the right substance for what you need. Once you start taking vitamins, avocado is like so rich in what our body needs. It's a fatty, yes, a fatty fruit or vegetable, which category it is, but it's good. I ate a lot of it during quarantine. That is really good. Sea moss. I know a lot of people are hearing about it, but sea moss has been great for me during quarantine. Outside of that, it's my multivitamins. It is my high fibers. It is my probiotics. And stuff that vitamins that have zinc in it as well. So then again, like I always say, everybody may not need all those vitamins. Some people are eating uh, the minerals they need or the substance they need to, have their hair flourish,
Hmm.
and they may not need to take those supplements. But if you aren't doing that, lots of water, hydration, and your vitamins. So
That
yeah,
is so good. Oh my goodness. I learned so much. Thank you so much. And it's so good to be educated because
right,
a lot of us don't realize that things that we consume truly make a difference in
absolutely,
everything in our body,
absolutely.
including our hair.
Hmm.
And a lot of women, I'm sure, don't know that, hey, Avocados are good for me in
Yeah.
more ways than one. Drinking water affects my hair,
Yes.
not just my skin, not just,
Yeah.
it also affects your scalp too, I believe,
Yes,
right?
it
With dry
does.
scalp.
Brings
Okay,
hydration.
so see, so look at that. So if you're having dry scalp, ladies, you may not be hydrated enough. So you want to keep that in mind as well.
Exactly.
So what we're consuming. So we know that during time of quarantine, I know it was really important that we were taking our vitamins, we were eating well, we were being hydrated, and we were doing that for our physical health. But
Mm-hmm.
remember that that also benefits our hair and our nails. And so that's
Absolutely.
really good to know. So I'm super grateful for that because I feel as though we able to take that nugget and to apply it if we
Mm-hmm.
haven't been taking in enough of the vitamins and the probiotics and all of the amazing nutrients that we need. So that's
Right.
really, really great to know.
Right. And I mean, another thing is, I know that, the pandemic was not something anybody expected,
Hmm.
but it became stressful for some people. So some people may be experiencing shedding. That's because you're stressed or you're under the pressure of, all that happened. And that's understandable. So if you are experiencing shedding, then this is you know that your hair is in that telogen stage where it's like shedding, and it's because of your high stress. How can you reverse that? Start working out, start self-care, as we've been talking about all month. Start taking care of you, and that will reverse. It won't stop the shedding, because the shedding is going to happen because it's a phase, but it will start. It's like when you're trying to lose weight. I'm gonna put a halt to all this fat consumption in my body. I'm going to stop it right here by starting to work out, starting to give my body what it needs, and that's starting with self-care. As your hair is going to stop shedding, you start trimming it. You start the deep conditioners, the steam treatments. Those are necessary. So if you're not doing those things that are good for you coming out of quarantine, because I know it was stressful for a lot of people, then you'll still see the shedding. Yeah.
Okay, and so if you're a woman who your hair is shedding because of maybe stress or being overwhelmed during this time of isolation, so you would suggest the best thing to do is just to start taking better care of yourself and to start now
Absolutely.
treating your hair.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Good stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. Mm-mm. Look at
Yeah.
this. So we are going to be walking out of quarantine better than the way we came in. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good to know. Because what would you say to some of us who are not continuing to work from home and having to slowly get prepared to get back into the office and get back to work as usual? What are some suggestions that you have regarding hair? Because if we've gone a few months without really maintaining it like we normally do, and now it's like, okay, I have to get back into the world. Do you
Mhm.
suggest that they just kind of get back to their hairdresser and start styling up their hair again, or just to kind of start with some treatments?
Well, yeah, definitely first consult with your hairdressers to see if they're open or not. I know everybody is not all the way open.
Mhm.
Here in Chicago, we're in phase three. Phase three mean like we're partially open, but we can still see our hairdresser. Making sure that when you do go see your hairdresser, of course you're being safe, you're wearing a mask, you're taking they are doing the same thing for you, because you want to be able to walk in somewhere and know that you're safe. um, and yeah, it is definitely going to be a trim, it's going to be a deep conditioner, and it's going to be a hair steam within that consultation or that service that day, because you haven't been, with your hairdresser. And if you are going to somebody, I'm sure they'll recommend it. And then they'll probably recommend you whatever you need, depending on your work life, school life, whatever it is. But it's all depending on your lifestyle and how you're coming out of quarantine. For some people who are going to work, they may want to deal with their hair because they probably haven't been able to flip their hair however they want, curl their hair.
Mhm.
So they may want to wear their hair out, but they want to get that silk press from a professional.
Right.
So, yeah, contacting your hairdresser and making that appointment, making sure you both are being safe, and going from there.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, definitely start contacting your hairdressers and getting the information you need, setting your appointments as you feel comfortable when things open up and you're comfortable to go in for your appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And as a healthcare professional yourself, how long have you been in the health? The health. How long have you been in the hair industry, and how long have you been a stylist yourself?
So I've been doing hair for 20 years now. It's been 21 years.
So you
I started,
started when you were 5.
no, I started when I was 5. No, I started when I was 12. And we'll just do the math from there. But I've been a professional hairstylist since I was out of high school. Got my license, and I've been within the industry since then. I've gone to so many educational classes, and it's important for me to continue to be a student of my craft. And a lot of what I learned, new things I learned during the quarantine, I was definitely appreciative of those hairdressers or beauty consultants who came on and still educated the beauty industry. But I've been doing this. I do love it. I do love to style, but most importantly, before the styling, I got to know that your hair is in its best integrity, at least, because you can't have the greatest style if your hair is not healthy. So, just like me, I know I'm protecting my hair right now, but if anybody's seen one of my wash days, my hair is like all over here, but I know it's a lot of work, but I know my hair is healthy. And I just, that's really what I stand on, and what I love about what I do. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm excited about your journey and to be doing it 2 decades. You are the boss. Okay. You are a healthy
Yeah.
hair specialist. And it's so important, like you said, to have a strong foundation. So that's what I took away from the last thing that you said. Like, I don't want to build on a foundation that's not strong. And it's so important because if I'm honest, I've seen some ladies who do hair and they don't care about the foundation.
Yeah.
They're going to give exactly what the client asks for. But
Mhm.
a great stylist, as yourself says, you know what? We need to do this. This needs to happen. This is important. You need to pay attention to this. And that's really,
Absolutely.
really key because you care about the health of the hair.
Absolutely. Even before, my thing is going into even and going into braids sometimes. If I know your edges are not intact, if I know that your hair is shedding, I'm not gonna recommend braids. And that's why I said it depends on who your stylist is. They shouldn't recommend you braids if you're not and your hair is not in the best shape to get braids. Because that means that you're putting more tension on those areas, and you shouldn't do so. And that's how people end up with alopecia and traction alopecia, because you're pulling all the time. Your hair is pulling away from its normal growth pattern. Yeah, definitely consulting with the right person. I'm not able to touch everybody, but I'm able to give you this advice so you can take it to the best person. So
Awesome.
yeah.
That's good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I also wanted to know,
Hmm.
and for those of you watching, if you have any questions, please comment below and we'll make sure that Stephanie answers them um, in the order that they come in. So go ahead and start typing. And I wanted to ask you, Stephanie, for someone who may be looking for a new stylist, what are some things to consider?
Whew. All right. So number one, knowing that they are educated, they are licensed, they are like a licensed professional. Like, where's your license? Knowing that they have the education about hair, and then going into, I know social media is a big thing. So if they're not posting things about hair care or anything like that, then it may be questionable. But then you can ask that in a consultation. Are they a clean hairdresser? Do they clean their their combs, their brushes, their instruments, all those, their tools, all those things are important because remember, they're going to use those things in your hair too. So it's like, basically it's like you don't want to get cross contamination from
Mm-hmm.
a hair comb. It happens. Also, what else I should look for? That person is, trusting of your time. They're not going to keep you in a salon for long. I know that's even going to change with the way that we're coming out of quarantine. Hopefully it does for a lot of people. But yeah, those things, those top things, license, do they care about my hair underneath the wig, the weaves? Are they timely? Are they professional? Are they educated? Sorry, those things do matter. I would say those are the top 4 to 5 things I look for when looking for a hairdresser.
That's good to know. And also, I think one of the important things that you said, they all were important, but one of them that you mentioned was a consultation,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have specific questions or your special needs regarding your hair, your
Mm-hmm.
scalp, or anything like that. It's really good to have a conversation so you
Right.
can get a feel for who you're going to work with. If we're
Absolutely.
honest, we all know, and you know, that women spend a lot of money in their hair and for
Yep.
their hair. And
Yep.
so I would say it's really important to, before you're investing all of your money, you want to make sure that you're having a conversation. There's an understanding, and then there's a trust there.
Yeah.
So important to trust your stylist. You spend a lot of time with her or him,
Exactly.
and you even talk about some personal things sometimes. And yeah, so there's a trust there. So that's really, really important. So thank you for that. And I know with coming out of quarantine, like you said, CDC has special um, their own special guidelines,
Yes.
and so things are going to change a bit in terms of going into a hair salon. So
Mm-hmm.
making sure your stylist is licensed, that sanitation is important,
Yes.
that they're timely.
Yes.
Right? If everyone's complaining about them having to wait 3 hours, you might want to consider that because
Mm-hmm.
everyone can't be lying, right? So you want to make sure that you are finding out information as you can, looking at some pictures, looking at what do I want when I get there. And so it's really important to be clear about your wants. So
Yes.
that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yep.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Stephanie, in addition to being an incredible stylist and a healthy hair specialist, you are also a entrepreneur. You are an author. You're a mom, like you stated in the beginning. So tell us what is new, what's going on. Is there anything that we can expect from you?
Whew.
Mhm.
Well, I have been keeping busy during this quarantine. I'm in school. One of the things that I know a lot of people don't put the two together, but hairstylists are psychologists. You do tell your stylist all of your business. So for me, I've gone back to school to
Mhm.
get my degree in psychology. So I'm finishing that up. Hopefully, I have 1 year left. I am a part of I don't know what is that. I forgot what it's called, but I'm writing a portion of my life with somebody's book. That's supposed to come out in September. And homeschool has been a big thing.
I bet. So you
Homeschool
have now become a homeschool teacher as well.
partially, part time, part
Yeah.
time. But yeah,
Awesome.
those things have kept me busy, and I'm working on rebranding as well, knowing that I know I have to change some things as far as the way I travel and how I do business coming out of quarantine. So I've been working on that as well. So we'll see some new things, turn on your notifications on social media, and we'll see what happens.
And how can we find you on social media?
On IG, I am Stephanie Styling, one word. I'm the Black girl. On Facebook, it's Stephanie Verdieu, my name. And those are the two main ones that I utilize. And from there, you can inbox me and ask me questions. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, those
Awesome.
are the two
Awesome. Well, that's
main
good to know.
that I
It's
work.
good to know that you are not only a stylist, but you are wearing more than one hat.
Yes.
And we are proud of you because you're an incredible stylist.
Thank you, thank you.
I can say that she's been my stylist since I was 12 too. So, so as long as she's been doing hair, I'm
Yes,
like, girl, do my hair. No, but no, you are amazing. I
thank
am
you.
so excited just about your journey, just from, oh man, the start up until now and where you're headed is just so incredible.
Thank
So
you so much.
we are excited. We are super, super just encouraging you throughout school, the rest of your schooling. And listen, yes, you are a therapist when we sit in your chair. So that is a fact. And so thank you for sharing those amazing tips with us regarding hair, healthy hair during quarantine,
Yeah.
healthy hair during the summer,
Mhm.
and coming out of quarantine, that we need to really get with our stylists and figure out what are the next steps and to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies from the inside out, including our hair.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So
It was
thank
a
you for
pleasure.
chatting with us tonight, Stephanie. We had an incredible time. And if there's any questions that come in, I'll be sure to let you know and then you can answer them.
Absolutely. I'm here for
Okay.
it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies, that was Stephanie Verdieu. She is our healthy hair specialist. So we're so excited to have her. If you have any questions that you didn't get to ask while she was on, go ahead and comment down below, and I will make sure that she gets to them. So thank you for tuning in, and we will be back tomorrow live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, for another chat, and Sunday we'll be back as well. So we have some incredible guests that are coming. So can't wait to see you, and have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.